my mom bought my sister and I little porcelain figurines. One was a harpist, one was a violinist. I got the violinist, my sister got the harpist, but thankfully my sister didn't really like music, so she was fine with me taking hers.
I didn't know that she would wind this thing up at night and she would play it, and she would do it very regularly.
And I remember it exactly. It was a blonde harp, and she had brown hair and a yellow dress, and then a little bluebird was sitting on the column of the harp, and I just remember thinking it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen and heard. So I decided I was going to play the harp, and my parents were like, oh no, that's not very realistic. They kind of hoped it would be a passing phase. So they put me in piano lessons, and I took piano, loved it, but I always wanted to play harp.
And the one day when she came to me and said, I want to learn how to play the harp, it wasn't something I developed or cultivated. It wasn't something that I even expected. It was just one day, I want to learn how to play the harp. And you know, it was like, oh. And it kind of went from there.
Performance major really sets me up to be able to be a performer on my instrument in any setting, whether that be chamber music, recital music, concert music, orchestral, any sort of performing. That's what it's gearing me for. So I will definitely have the experience that I need to teach, but it doesn't give me any sort of certification for education. That would be more like a music education major. The performance, it will definitely set me up to be able to teach privately, but not in any sort of like school or government funded teaching.
He's your problem child in the ensemble, isn't he?
I was like glaring
She
at you.
started it.
No, I did not. Y'all weren't watching. I'm a junior this year, and I am currently taking a lot of music requirements and electives. So my requirements are basic conducting, which is a lot of fun, theory classes and aural skills, world music, guitar lessons, and percussion techniques. I am planning to continue on to my master's. I really want to just achieve the highest level of playing that I can on the harp. I am attracted to the harp mainly because of its sound. It's just so unique and so beautiful. I don't think anything else really comes close to the sound that you get on a harp. It's really diverse, way more diverse than other people think. You can do a lot with it. All sorts of different tone colors, percussion sounds, creepy sounds. So it's a lot of fun when you start using all of those. I chose Wheaton College for a number of different reasons. The most important thing to me in looking for a college was actually the professor that I would be studying with on harp. All the different colleges that I visited, I took lessons with the harp professors, saw how I worked with them, how they worked with me, the techniques that they were working on with me in the lessons. I also tried to listen to each of them play so that I could hear what their sound was like.
Trying to get too many in there. So clap one full measure of 3/4 for me.
I fell in love with the harp professor here, Faye Seaman. She was amazing. She was very encouraging, but also, she got right down to the nitty-gritty about what I needed to work on and improve. I see her every week, obviously, for my private lesson, which is an hour one-on-one coaching, and then also I take chamber. She's really great. She's kind of like my mentor, I would say, on the campus. And Wheaton College also had a very strong conservatory. It's like a family. There are about 150 students, I want to say, in the conservatory, and you see each other in your rehearsals and your classes. So you basically know everybody. For the most part, we all get along. It's a really nice, supportive, encouraging place to be. I live with another music major, so really close to her. And then, we spend so much time rehearsing and practicing music together, and we all pretty much go through the same experiences of loving our instrument, hating our instrument, feeling like we're amazing and we can play it, and the next day feeling like we suck and we maybe shouldn't be doing music anymore. So we can all kind of relate to each other in that way, and it really just helps form deep bonds that I don't think you can really get anywhere else. This is where I spend my life. Obviously practicing on the harp, piano. I make tea over here. I sleep usually on that couch all the time. Like, all the time. Yeah, this is where I live.
She practiced a lot. I tend to be a bit of a pusher, so you know, there's always more you can do. So practice more, practice more. So, but she did. She practiced a lot.
I remember even 1 week out of our freshman year where she was in the practice room for like 7-8 hours a day consistently. And I remember thinking, dear God, is this what music majors do?
Abby practices a lot. She's very consistent about practicing. She rarely misses practicing. She's at her harp daily, and I'm pretty sure she's at it, you know, several hours each day.
I practice approximately 3 to 6 hours a day. That does not include any group practice time, which would be orchestra rehearsals, which are twice a week for 2 hours. And again, depending on the pieces that we're rehearsing that day, I might not have to go for the whole rehearsal. And then also any chamber rehearsals. Ever since I was little, I basically had 3 areas of my life: horses, music, and dance. And I loved all 3 of them, and I wanted to do all 3 of them all the time. I started realizing in middle school and high school, well, mostly middle school, it was kind of like, okay, you need to start thinking about what you're going to do, what you're going to focus on. And so I was trying to figure out which of these aspects of my life I wanted to really go into. And the horses, I realized, were just a hobby that I loved and something that made me happy, but I didn't have any career goals with that. The dance and the music, I think it mainly just boiled down to feasibility. I went through some injuries in dance, so it kind of became clear that music was something that I'd be able to push myself in. I just kind of went after that one, and I'm glad I did. I have no regrets because I couldn't live without music.
So there was the dance, there was horses, and there was music. And very early on, it was dance, but music is a part of dance.
I started dancing when I was a very little child, after I quit gymnastics, because I didn't like gymnastics. I was probably around 4-ish, I don't really remember. And it was off and on for a few years, and then I got more serious about it probably around like 8-ish. And then I danced all the way up until about 14. I also injured myself because I was dancing a lot. So I basically stopped, and then a couple years after that, I got back into dancing just on the side because I missed it and I really love it. I miss the performing part of dance. Right now, I pretty much just do it for fun on my own, maybe with some friends. I dance whenever I can find the time and whenever the dance studio is open. So it's not on a regular basis, it's more just like, hey, I have an hour and the dance studio is open, let's go dance. I'm not a huge emotional person, and I hate talking about emotions with people or just feelings in general, but dance and really just movement, it allows me to connect that part of my life and then express it in a way that's a lot easier for me than like sitting down and presenting it to someone with words. I also love that you can combine dance and music and create something that works very cohesively. And since I'm really big into music and I also love dance, it's just a fun way to do both of them at the same time. My sister does, she's a therapeutic riding instructor and dressage trainer, so she's always out at the barn, giving lessons, training horses, doing all of that. And it's something that she's been doing for her whole life, and she gave me the horse bug, so I love horses as well, and I just like to come out and spend time with her and with them and have fun. It's kind of my hobby, my pastime.
I am in a 3-year equestrian program that is training me in the art of French classical dressage, and Abby is a part of that. She's been riding with me basically my whole life, and that's been great. So she already knows a lot about horses and about riding, and through her continued involvement, I get to teach her, and she gets to be my guinea pig a little bit as I'm learning, and then hopefully she can be present at that exam and maybe be that student. And also it's great to have somebody to share my passion with. We've been riding together basically our whole lives, and that's awesome.
The biggest challenge I face now is just finding time to come out to the barn in and amongst all of the practicing and rehearsing and classes that I have. It usually, I try to make it out every weekend, but sometimes it doesn't happen and I just have to come out over breaks. Horses are purely just a hobby for me. I just love them. They're my pets and my family, and I just like spending time with them. I come out to the barn about once a week when rehearsals aren't crazy. When rehearsals get really crazy, then it's usually not at all and only on breaks, which is sad. And when I come out, I groom her, I brush her, I ride her. We work on some training goals.
Our lives were very much intertwined with horses and all things to do with horses. And so that became a big part of the girls' lives, and I think it was a really good thing for Abby too. And I think it was something that acted as a catalyst to unify the family, which was really important for all those years growing up. And the horses stayed, and it's still a part of her life. I think it always will be. And the dance, it's something that she talks about still wanting to do. In college she will go and work out, and when she works out she does dance. So that too is a part of her life, and then and we'll see how that becomes more a part of her life when opportunity and time and circumstance allows.
Horses to me are a happy, safe place. They make me smile. They're a break from the normal stressful life, a place to just come and be calm and do nothing for a little bit and have it just be a happy, rejuvenating time. This is not gonna work. I have to undo the caution tape.
Just try it. I just stuck a chair in front of the door, okay?
Why? It's not moving. That'll give you the excuse to go out your way and say hi to it.
That means it's not working.
If I had $1 or even a quarter for every time someone said, "That's a big instrument, do you wish you picked the piccolo?" I'm willing to bet you I would have enough money to buy my own new harp. The biggest challenge I have is finding enough practice time and enough sleep. But then also just a huge challenge is, I think, kind of self-acceptance almost, because we're always trying to be better than what we were. Every day we're always trying to push to be even better, to become the best that we can be. And it's really easy to start falling into like this discouraging process where we just kind of beat ourselves up like, oh, I could have done that better. I'm not improving as much as I want to be. And so it's kind of hard to give yourself perspective sometimes and to let yourself have room to grow, because you see everyone else and you are always comparing yourself to them. How well did they perform? How well am I going to perform? Instead of, this is where I am, where can I grow to be better? It's kind of a challenge of always making sure that you're comparing yourself to who you were yesterday and not to where everyone else is today. We're really busy because we have a lot of classes we have to take. There are a lot of credits that we have to fill, a lot of requirements. For our private instrument, we have our private lesson every week, and then there's homework associated with that, but it's not homework that you, like an assignment that you finish. Our homework is literally practicing on our instrument and becoming better. And since most of the time we're perfectionists and we always want to make everything as perfect as it can be, that homework never goes away. We take it very seriously. It's a big priority for us. And not only is there the solo practicing, there's also all of our chamber rehearsals and orchestra rehearsals or band rehearsals or choir rehearsals. And then we have just our normal classes on top of that, so classes that do actually have assignments that are due. And then there are all of the performances, so recitals and concerts. And then any gigs that you have off campus or any jobs that you have, those are also factored in. At the end of it, you know, our days are pretty much booked from, or at least my days are booked basically from when I get up at like 7:30-ish to when I go to bed. Well, ideally 11. That's my goal. It rarely happens.
I think music is a powerful vehicle for ministry, and you know, it is my hope and desire that she will use her passion and her music, you know, to glorify God and you know, to minister to people and to allow people to connect with her.
I heard Abby play for an offertory, and the rest is history. I knew I wanted her to be a part of the worship band.
I was on the worship team at my home church for a while, playing harp along with the band that we had up there, which was a lot of fun. And then I was also able to perform specials and offertories for them.
I think it brings just, I don't want to say out of this world or ethereal, but it gives it just a calm and peaceful vibe to the whole team.
And then another way that I've been able to use it through ministry is playing at actually retirement homes and hospitals. The patients there love to see a harp and hear the music, and so it's always fun to brighten up their day and play them some music.
I hope that, you know, what she gains and internalizes by playing, you know, can then come out, you know, and minister to others.
A good performance success that I had would have been my sophomore recital last year. So I split it with one of my friends, Anna. I performed for 30 minutes, she performed for 30 minutes, and all the music is memorized, and it's pretty hard music. It's not just, you know, easy, fluffy harp stuff. It was pretty intense techniques and pedaling. It was neat to have that recital and have it be a success and something that turned out well. And this year I have to have a junior recital, so that will be next semester, and I'm already starting to work on my pieces for it. I'm excited and equally horrified. I've done a lot of different types of gigs, actually. I've done weddings, playing at church services. I've actually got to play at the Illinois State Capitol one time, accompanying choirs. I've freelanced with some orchestras before. I got to perform at the Museum of Science and Industry one time at their Christmas Around the World. That was a lot of fun because it's all Christmassy, and then there are Christmas trees everywhere and lots of people and hustling and bustling, and that was just a fun place to get to perform.
I don't think I can imagine Abby without music.
When I first met her, I absolutely saw her passion and drive. Like I said, she was very hardworking all the time.
Very, very devoted and passionate about her playing.
I've always looked at her as an artist. As a musician, I think she's dedicated to her craft, just someone that will do what it takes, all the hours of practice that's involved, and just to make sure that the piece is perfect.
She's able to go with the flow, and if she has to make changes at the last minute or whatever, she's able to do that, and she's, which I think is a good skill to have as a musician, because you never know when you're gonna have to change something up or add something in, and she's very good at improvising and figuring things out on the spot if she needs to.
There are two sides to Abby. There is the very bubbly and gregarious side. There's her wit and her humor, and she's quick, and we laugh a great deal. And then there's this other side of Abby, which is very serious, very no nonsense, take the bull by the horns and get it done type of girl. And music complements, really both those sides. I really can't see Abby without music.
If I see something I want or that I like, I will try it, and if I do like it, I don't stop it. I will stay with it. I guess it's just a personal fight within me. I don't like the idea of quitting and giving up on something, and I won't stop until I feel like I've arrived at whatever my goal is. And that's kind of the great thing about music. I don't think you ever really do arrive. It's kind of this chasing after something that I know will always be there, that I can chase after. It's a safe place, it's a happy place for me. It just provides healing and comfort and happy, just a feeling of happy.